This is r/EntitledPeople, where OP asks if it's considered normal that they're the assumed dog sitter in the family. My name is Trey and welcome back to Reloaded Reacts. This next post is by Impossible Parfait. Just for context, I don't drink cow's milk, I'm lactose intolerant, but my sister was visiting me from our home country, and she does, so we were in the dairy aisle in a pretty central M&S, UK retail and grocery store with higher end prices. The only reason we were in that shop was that we were already in the city centre and had forgotten the milk in a previous grocery run. Since I wasn't going to drink any, we were after a small jug and we were looking at expiration dates, so that it would last at least until my sister left. Usually later expiration dates are in the back of the display, so we were checking a couple of bottles. We maybe stood in front of there a total of 3 minutes max, but weren't completely blocking the aisle and weren't paying attention to our surroundings. In fact, a woman had previously asked us if she could reach something and we had moved out of the way, then moved back in front. The shop was busy, but I've seen it busier before. It was on a weekday at about 6 PM. A guy, clearly coming out of work as he was well dressed, suddenly, without warning, grabs both mine and my sister's shoulders, pushes us apart, walked to the display and grabbed a random milk jug, shouting at us, "It's just milk for f***'s sake." He then huffed and walked off grumbling. We were stunned for a second, but as soon as we regained our bearings, both my sister and I shouted insults after him both in English and our native language. He clearly didn't care and kept on rushing around the shop. Before you ask, no, he hadn't previously made his presence known, and he hadn't been waiting behind us for a while or anything. He just barged in and out. He was clearly in a rush. My sister and I were obviously okay after and still laugh about it, especially when we are in the grocery shop together and end up in the dairy aisle, but he was such an entitled piece of shit. And the fact that he just grabbed us and pushed us out of the way was just such a huge no-no. Sometimes grocery stores bring out the worst of people, honestly. That's actually crazy. I have an edit here, but I just want to say that's insane. I've never seen anyone do that at the grocery stores here. I'm not sure if that's a common thing over there, but it certainly doesn't happen here very much. Edit. Thanks for everyone's comment, even those who think I'm AI. Just wanted to add some clarification to answer some of the comments. Oh my, it's so 2026. Not sure where anyone got that we were in front of doors. There were no doors. Majority of displays in the UK are open, so you can grab stuff from the side of people. Yeah, it's like that here too. We were very aware of our surroundings, and in fact we saw the lady who asked us to grab something. The guy came out of nowhere. He was clearly in a hurry and we didn't see him coming at all. In all the time we were there, we were only approached by him and the other lady. I think 3 minutes was an exaggeration, and we probably checked only 5 different jugs, which probably wouldn't take that long. There were 3 different options: organic, reasonably sourced or something like that, and your normal basic milk. We only looked at semi-skimmed for each, but they were all mixed up in the display. I understand how that might come off as entitled, but we were in good faith and I didn't want to waste anything. I don't think it's very entitled, I think that's fine. That guy's kinda crazy though for just pushing you out of the way with his bare hands. Bro could not wait a couple seconds for some milk. He was not taught manners. This next post is by Kashala. Just happened and I'm still shaking my head laughing. Went to automatic car wash to get salt and crap off my car. I have an older Honda, but it's my baby and I try to take care of it. Car washes are a splurge I do once in a while, since I don't have anywhere at my place to wash it. I pull up in line behind lady in new Cadillac SUV. She pulls into bay and I start the process of buying my car wash for after her. Just as I'm about to select my service, I notice the touchless sprayer is not going. At first I think machine is broken. No big deal, there is another bay over there that I see working. I cancel the transaction and start to back up. Lady honks and gets out of her car, dressed to the nines and decked out in jewelry. Says, "Just pay for me and I'll give you cash." I'm like, okay, just as easy. I tell her to give me the cash and I'll put the wash she wants in. "I'll pay you after it's done." You mean after you drive out and the door closes behind you? That after? Yeah, not happening. That's okay. I'll just back up and go to the other washer. Wow, you're just rude, aren't you? Can't just pay for someone. Lady, you were driving a freaking new Caddy and I'm in an old Honda, but I'm rude because you're cheap? Go scam someone else, lady. I just laughed and moved. Best part, as I was leaving, she tried it on someone else and I heard him tell her to f off with that bullshit. Should have stopped with the rude person. Why? I mean, I get that they're expensive, but if you've got a new car and you're decked out in jewelry, probably not going to care about how much a car wash is worth. I don't understand. It's not that expensive. This next post is by Kelsey IV. I went on a cruise recently with family and thought I'd have some entitled people stories from the cruise. Surprisingly, I didn't. At least, not until after. After we disembarked, my wife ordered an Uber. She gets the notification that it's only 2 minutes away. I didn't expect it that soon and was stoked. My wife saw the car drive up, so she went over to confirm with the driver while I brought the bags over. As she was talking to the driver, an irate man came up, saying he had been waiting 30 minutes and this was his Uber. My wife showed him her phone, which had the make and colour of the car, license plate and name of the driver. The man refused to show his phone, insisted it was his ride, and went to talk to the driver. Turns out the man had booked this Uber, but when the driver sent a message saying he was at the port but in the bathroom and would be a couple minutes, the man cancelled. Then he tried to rebook and got the same driver, who said he was in the bathroom and would be a couple minutes. Man cancelled the ride again. Apparently after that, as the driver was leaving the restroom, he accepted our request and was there in less than 2 minutes. Dude was pissed, yelling that he had been waiting and he should get the car. Sorry, that's not how it works. As we were driving away, I heard the man yell, "Thanks for being an asshole." The driver yelled back, "Don't cancel twice and expect a ride." Some people, I swear. But at least we got out of there much quicker than expected. So thanks, jerk, for queuing up a ride for us. That's kind of amazing. That's some choosing beggars stuff, you know? He was being really entitled and his consequences got to him. Crazy that actions have consequences. Who would have thought in this subreddit? This next post is by Purple Average. My 70-year-old mom bought a new puppy. I was surprised because she said she didn't want any more dogs. She had one before and I had to walk the dog sometimes when my parents were home late from work. I don't even live with my parents anymore. I'm an adult, pay my own rent and live with my long-term boyfriend. Just 2 days after getting the new puppy, I picked up my mom because we needed to go somewhere and she tells me I should have left the puppy at your house with your boyfriend so he could watch her. The puppy can't be alone, so my dad took the puppy with him that day, but my mum has been making comments since that day about leaving the puppy at my house whenever she needs to go out. She just assumed I would do this. She never asked if I had time or if I even wanted to dog sit. Now my mom has been whining all the time about how hard it is to take care of the puppy. After hearing her whine for the 4th time, I decided to speak up. I told her she needed to really think if she was going to commit to this puppy. Both of my parents are getting old and I can't take care of the puppy for them. They need to be responsible since they got it. That's all I said, and I was trying to set boundaries because I have a busy life and don't want that responsibility. Then my mum victimized herself, telling me that I don't have to take care of the puppy or her when she's old, that she'll take care of herself. She made me feel bad because I didn't want to dog sit for her, but I do other things for her. I run errands, drive her to places, and don't need more burden since I have my own life and responsibilities. When I posted this on a different subreddit, they told me that my mom raised me for 18 years and I should just make her happy and dog sit for her. Am I in the wrong for not wanting this responsibility? It was not my idea to get the dog and I never agreed to anything. I don't know why that other subreddit said that. That's an insane take. Your mum made the choice to get the dog. It's got nothing to do with you. If she didn't want more dogs, she shouldn't have gotten more dogs. Why did she do that? That's such a dumb idea. You're your own person and you have your own life. That doesn't make any sense. I would be so upset at that. She needs to hire someone. This next post is by Liliana Stargazer. For context, I am a woman in my 20s at this point, and I was working in a retail store as a deli service associate. A woman walks up to my counter with 2 small kids, less than 12 years old, in her cart. She smiles at me and I say, "Hello, how can I help you?" She doesn't answer me and just turns to her kids. "See, this is why you need to go to college, so you can get a good job and not end up here like her." I keep smiling as I say, "Ma'am?" She turns to me, "Yes?" All happy like I'm going to confirm this for her. I have a bachelor's degree in applied science. I have 2 associate's degrees, 2 one-year degrees, and 2 6-month degrees in computer-aided drafting and design. I work here because no one else is hiring in my highly competitive and sought-after field. She gets mad and storms off. Literally minutes later, a manager comes up and informed me she complained, and as I don't have a reputation for being mean, asked what I said that was rude. Seems she just told them I was rude. I repeated the conversation verbatim, as it literally happened less than 30 minutes before. He listened and informed me he has a bachelor's in engineering, and the same associates I've just specialized in engineering. He was here for the same reason I was. He walked away and I did not get in trouble. Yeah, don't walk up to random workers in retail, use us for a life lesson, then get mad when we prove you wrong. Also, my degree was before AI. It was in how to use AutoCAD programs to draft parts. That's ridiculous. I haven't seen anyone do that when I worked retail, but I'm sure it's a pretty common occurrence even over here. People are not the center of the world like they think they are. This next post is by Wassabilsi. So, my first house was a 2-bedroom semi-detached on a new build estate. The houses were built on the site of an old TB isolation hospital, so there were still some trees around, etc. And they had to bulge my house over by a few feet because they found steps going into the ground into what looked suspiciously like a mortuary. Anyhow, at the bottom of my narrow garden was a tree, a Scots pine by all accounts, a straggly looking thing which you could see from miles around because I was on a hill. The tree had protection order imposed by the useless local council, so I was powerless to touch it without jumping through hoops. I was 20 something and couldn't be arsed with that nonsense, so there it stood. Behind the tree was a fence, and behind that was the parking space for another little house lived in by an older woman. Let's call her Joan. I think she was called Joan. And also the parking space for the next house along lived in by a couple, can't remember their names. They weren't nice. To be fair, neither was Joan, who let her angry little dog shit on the little bit of unfenced garden to the side of my house. One day, knock on the door, it was Mr. Unpleasant telling me the tree had damaged his car by dropping pine cones. To reiterate, it was a pine tree. That's what they do. He claimed the damage was severe and that I would have to pay. He said Joan's car was also damaged. He said if I didn't pay, he would sue me. I just looked at him, shut the door, cried for a bit. I was broke and sitting on a cushion because I couldn't afford a sofa. Then I got my microwave oven, put it in my back garden, and threw pine cones at it with some force to see if I could cause damage. I couldn't. Rang my insurance company. When they finished laughing, they said to tell him to sod off. Never heard any more. This was r/EntitledPeople. If you like this video, make sure to go check out some other videos on the channel. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button because I post new Reddit content every single day.